welcome again to another exciting Encountering Jesus, where I invite you to put aside what you know or what you think you know about Jesus and come with me on a journey through John's Gospel and look at him afresh. And last time we looked at Jesus being the King of Israel. And if you want to see that video, there's a link in the description below. But as always, if you're enjoying this channel, why not like, subscribe and click the button or click the bell and you'll never miss another episode. Well, today we're going to be looking at John 12 verses 20 to 36, and we're going to be looking at Jesus planting eternal seeds. But these are not the seeds that you're thinking of. So let's have a look in John's Gospel, John chapter 12 verses 20 to 36. I'm using the New Living Translation, but you can follow along with whatever translation you like, or just follow along on the screen. So John chapter 12 verses 20 to 36. Some Greeks who had come to Jerusalem for the Passover celebration paid a visit to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee. They said, "Sir, we want to meet Jesus." Philip told Andrew about it, and they went together to ask Jesus. Jesus replied, "Now the time has come for the Son of Man to enter into his glory. I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat is planted in the soil and dies, it remains alone. But its death will produce many new kernels, a plentiful harvest of new lives. Those who love their life in this world will lose it. Those who care nothing for their life in this world will keep it for eternity. Anyone who wants to be my disciple must follow me, because my servants must be where I am, and the Father will honor anyone who serves me. And now my soul is deeply troubled. Should I pray, 'Father, save me from this hour'? But this is the very reason I came. Father, bring glory to your name." Then a voice spoke from heaven, saying, "I have already brought glory to my name, and I will do so again." When the crowd heard the voice, some thought it was thunder, while others declared an angel had just spoken to him. Then Jesus told them, "The voice was for your benefit, not mine. The time for judging this world has come, when Satan, the ruler of this world, will be cast out. And when I am lifted up from the earth, I will draw everyone to myself." He said this to indicate how he was going to die. The crowd responded, "We understood from Scripture that the Messiah would live forever. How can you say the Son of Man will die? Just who is this Son of Man anyway?" Jesus replied, "My light will shine on you for a little longer. Walk in the light while you can, so that the darkness will not overtake you. Those who walk in darkness cannot see where they are going. Put your trust in the light while there is still time. Then you will become children of the light." After saying these things, Jesus went away and was hidden from them. You know, we live in a world where success is highly sought after, and to be loved and adored, or to live in a big house with all the gadgets and all the mod cons, is something that many of us aspire to. And even if we don't have those things, if we haven't got the big house and all the mod cons, we're often dreaming of getting there someday. Someday, I'm going to be rich and famous or whatever. And even if we can't even aspire to that in our own means, we can get these magazines like Hello Magazine or whatever, and look into these magazines and see the homes of the rich and the famous. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with success. There's nothing wrong with wanting to better ourselves. But the question is to what end do we want to better ourselves? Whose glory are we speaking of? Who are we trying to glorify? Jesus has had a heck of a week. He's just come riding into Jerusalem on a donkey, and everyone's going nuts. They're proclaiming him as the King of Israel, the Messiah who's been waited for since forever. And they've been waving palm branches and throwing things on their coats on the ground, and Jesus is going over them. And the thing is, everyone's going nuts. And then he's in Jerusalem, he's coming up to the Passover, and he says that the Son of Man's going to have to die. the Son of Man, and when people are looking at him nuts, and he's just going, well, unless a seed falls to the ground and dies, it's just going to become a seed. It'll always be a seed. But if it goes into the ground, if it doesn't die, it'll just be a seed. But if it goes into the ground and dies, it becomes so much more. It becomes a whole grain of wheat that produces more seeds and more seeds and more seeds. And Jesus is going, well, I've got to die. I've got to die so that there will be a bountiful harvest. But this harvest is not a physical seed, it's a spiritual seed. Because he dies, he defeats Satan. Satan has had this rule over the world since time immemorial, and now Jesus has come to conquer Satan, but he must do it by dying. And Satan didn't see this one coming. He didn't see this one coming. He thought that when Jesus was going to die, that was it. But Jesus was going to produce a spiritual harvest by defeating death and defeating our sin and defeating death. And so we win. We get the ultimate success because of Jesus. Because Jesus fell to the ground. And that's the thing. He offered himself for us. And the thing is, he says that we need to hold on to our lives lightly. We've been given these wonderful lives, but he says, hold on to your life lightly. Serve others. Put others first. Don't look just for success to yourself. Put others first. We've all got time to give. It doesn't matter, even if you're the poorest person on earth, you can give your time. And look at it. Time is the most valuable thing we have. Time is the most valuable thing we have. And to give someone your time is brilliant. To visit a lonely neighbour, or just to give someone your time. It's great as well to give your money if you've got money, or even showing hospitality, inviting people into your house and showing them respect and love, showing them the love of Jesus. You know, Jesus gave us the best thing. He gave himself. You know, it says at the beginning of John, Jesus was the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. And Jesus could have stayed in heaven and just had the life of luxury and success with all the mod cons going. But he didn't. He actually chose to come and to give himself for us. He came as a servant king, not as a lording it over us king, but as a servant king. He came to set an example, because Jesus' life is forever. He is the Son of God who takes away the sins of the world, and he came to take away the sins of the world. That's why he came to die. And sometimes we live our lives for our own success, but Jesus is going, no, you live to serve others. You know, my house here is over 130 years old. And yeah, I've got a mortgage on it, and yeah, you could say that I own the house, but I don't own the house. In 100 years' time, it'll belong to someone else. And 100 years ago, it belonged to someone else. I'm just a steward of it. But what I do with our house matters. What I do with our house matters. How kind I am, how I show hospitality, how I use my possessions. That's what really, really, really counts. So what are the things that you're clinging to? What are the things that you're holding on to? Because Jesus says if you try to save your life, you will lose it. But if you give your life to me, you will gain everything. And Jesus is saying, don't enjoy life here on earth, but live for eternal things. You know, remember, don't store up treasure in heaven where don't store up treasure on earth where moth and rust can destroy, but store up treasure in heaven. So, does Jesus' words make sense? Are they reasonable? Do you want to be a seed that's going to have eternal worth, that's going to have eternal treasure? Or are you just living for what you want now? What are the things that maybe that you could give to others, your time, some money or hospitality, kindness? How could that change their lives? How could that change your own life? Because Jesus says, unless we die to ourselves, we're not really living. Because when we die to ourselves, we gain so much more. We gain so much more, because we're gaining eternal worth. But ultimately that only comes through Jesus. That's not through our own goodness. That's through serving Jesus. When we serve others, we're serving Jesus. And that's the key. As I said, he could have stayed in the realms of glory and not bothered to come down here, getting his feet dirty and having people just, going to him for miracles and whatever. But he came for you and he came for me. And that's what it's all about. He came as a servant heart, and he wants us to serve others too, to plant eternal seeds. So, as before, what do you know about Jesus that you didn't know before? How has this changed your opinion of him? And what other questions has this raised? And as always, it's all here in the, put it the right way, in the Encountering Jesus book. But as I say, it's all about changing the focus of your life. Because if you make the focus of your life Jesus, you will have eternal treasure. And Jesus made his earthly life the focus. He focused on us, and that is exactly why he came. That's exactly why he came to die for you and for me. Well, I must be honest, right? It's freezing out here, so I'm gonna go inside now and warm up my cuppa because it's got a bit cold. So until next time, we'll see you then.